Every travel adventure should be planned with alternatives for dealing with conditions beyond your control. You need a plan A and a plan B, and the right attitude for both options. My most recent case in point comes from a 9-day trip to Mexico's Baja California. It was planned as a break from winter, a sun-soaked week of beach camping, snorkeling, and kayaking in the Sea of Cortez. Unfortunately, we were greeted in Loreto by a weather front that included 30-knot winds and record cold temperatures. "It could be worse," said Vladdy de la Toba, a Mexican sea kayaking guide. "It's not hurricane season." We were a group of 6, booked to head out with Coeur d'Alene-based Sea Kayak Adventures. The company has been operating since 1993, long enough to know the need for alternatives. Although we were primed to paddle, the company encouraged us to make a day trip of whale watching from a panga, a local fishing skiff with a driver and an outboard motor to buck the wind. It was a slam-dunk start to the week. Sand dune barrier islands shield the pounding Pacific surf from lagoons, where California gray whales, in February and March, seek safety for their newborn calves. Under Plan A, our foul weather gear would have stayed at the bottom of our packs. Plan B called for bundling and rain jackets to shed the saltwater spray as we motored through the whitecaps. The next 2 hours generated more oohs and ahs than a fireworks show as the whales surfaced all around us. Moms weighing 30 to 40 tons would rise and blow, showing the knuckles on their backs, while their calves would bob awkwardly around them. Sometimes the babies resembled little 2-ton pickles, gasping for air. Still, we came to kayak. We'd heard about other boaters who bagged their paddling excursion and simply toured Baja by land. There was plenty to see. But after the initial foray out to an island near Loreto, our guides were confident we had the skills to make the exposed crossing to Carmen Island. We voted to go for it. Vladdy told us that more wind was coming. We might be stuck on the island for several days, he warned. And he was right. We were back to Plan B, which had the pleasant benefit of being sequestered with good friends on a desert island, with white sand beaches. The wind didn't stop the wildlife from carrying on in the sea or on land, but it didn't stop us from enjoying them either. We acquainted ourselves with the local crabs, sea cucumbers, starfish, and oyster catchers. We followed tracks that led us to a variety of wildlife, including our constant companions, the hermit crabs. Some of us braved the cool water with snorkel gear. Others collected shells for art displays at camp. Sometimes we just goofed off. Evenings are long during winter. Dinner with a few surprises or embellishments is an elixir for an expedition group, especially when you're on Plan B. After that, the desert was fabulous for star watching. A highlight of our trip was a nighttime foray using black lights to spot scorpions. The wind didn't stop the burst of life at sunrise. We'd hike, find a break from the wind for morning coffee, and watch the critter show. We saw the geyser-like blows of blue whales in the distance. Close encounters were common with turkey vultures, frigate birds, gulls, and pelicans. Most spectacular, though, was the swarming flights of blue-footed boobies. Despite the whitecaps, they would find schools of fish and then dive en masse as though they were a hailstorm pounding the sea. When the wind shifted, giving us a bit of a lee, we paddled to Punta Baja. Here we had a change of scenery, lunch under palm trees, and a hike through a cactus forest. We sampled a cactus fruit and investigated tarantula nests. Plan A was to paddle tranquil turquoise waters. Plan B featured the challenge of launching and serve just to get back to camp. Throughout the week, our guides monitored the weather reports. When a lull in the wind was forecast, we made our break back across the channel to Loreto. The week was a pleasant reminder. Outdoor adventure is unpredictable, and that's why we like it. This is Rich Landers for Spokesman.com.